I was actually up in the spaceship. They actually took the ones who were sleeping on board. Did I believe? I would have thought there was a good likelihood. Obviously I couldn't have said for definite because I just didn't know then. I do now.
The first question I have to ask is, why you?
Why me? I haven't a clue. I suppose I've always felt that I'm like a square peg in a round hole. I've never quite fitted into society as we know it, or I've always felt, I don't know, a little bit different in some way. It was in Kindred Spirit, a magazine. It said if you were interested in any of this, you could write to someone and find out how you could communicate. And I thought, well, that sounds a bit strange, but I'll have a go. Someone sent me, some information about how to meditate and, in what sort of form. And I think what the idea was that we get lots of people doing the same sort of meditation and just sending out thought waves out into the universe. And then I got a phone call from a chap down in Gloucester, and he asked if I would be interested in actually joining a group of people and trying to make physical contact as well as just mental contact. And of course I said yes. And that's what happened. A few months passed and we were given some more forms of meditation to do, and like a planning, if you like. On the whole, there was 9 of us, and we were 9 different types of people coming together. There were scientists, civil servants, healers like myself, clairvoyants, and we all met up. We were all from different fields. We moved on from my house up to Glasgow to a scientist's house there, and we met up with him and his wife, and we did a big meditation there, a big preparation for the meeting. And from there we drove up to Glencoe in about 3 or 4 different cars, and that was how we ended up at Glencoe. First of all, the 9 of us did some earth healing work, which was actually planting crystals in specific places that the clairvoyants who had already had contact were specifically told the exact spots to plant these various crystals, and also the meditation we had to work with the crystals to re-energize the spot. And we also did some clearing of the heavy energy and some of the lost souls who were still in the valley from the massacre, and climbers who had lost their lives. So really we were putting a lot of love back into that area. We finished there about 10 o'clock at night. We then had to find this particular plateau, which was where contact was going to be made. And we headed out from Glencoe along the valley towards Ballachulish, and we found this plateau there, and that was where we were supposed to make contact with space beings, whatever you want to call them. From working in Glencoe, we moved across and we had to find this plateau. We weren't told exactly where it was, but we were all told to follow our instincts. So we drove out and people said, right, take the left here or take the right there. And we had to climb quite a distance, as you can imagine, up onto this plateau. It felt as if we were in a bubble of warm air. Now, most of us were dressed up to the nines with all our heavy weather clothes, but it was so warm, it was amazing. And we're talking about 10 o'clock at night, up in the Glencoe area, and if any of you have been there, you'll know exactly what I mean. It can be perishing. And it was just like a hot house. And we all remarked on that because we didn't realise how it could feel like that at that time of night and that time of year. And we knew that we were to make contact at 4 o'clock in the morning, so we had a lot of time to kill. So we had a picnic, and again it was like a summer's day. It was so warm. It was really nice. We had this big tarpaulin out on the ground. We were all sitting there munching away. And then it was suggested that we actually try and get some shut-eye before 4 o'clock. So the last thing I remember is lying down on the tarpaulin and hearing like the sound of an engine. But it wasn't like a normal car engine or an aeroplane's jet engine. It was like a sort of droning sound, but it sounded very much in the distance. And I was lying on the tarpaulin next to another lady, and I said to her, I remember saying to her, I'll never sleep, I'll never sleep on this hard ground. The next thing I remember, it was 6 o'clock in the morning. And I think the reason for that was that I always said that I would be frightened of actually seeing an alien face to face, or a ghost, or anything like that. I feel things within my body. I'm not clairvoyant. I don't see shapes or ghosts or anything like that. And I suppose in a way I was a little bit nervous. I thought, oh my God, what am I going to see here? And I remember saying, oh, please, please, don't let me see Nothing
anything
that's
going to
did.
scare me.
Because they put me to sleep. From the others that were there who weren't afraid, who had already had contact, not physical contact, but who had messages relayed to them, they actually remember being taken up into the spaceship, and they remember seeing around the spaceship and also what was imparted to them as well. They were told what was going to happen to the Earth in the future, but they were also told how the Earth had developed all through its history up to this point. We saw into the future as well. The scientist was also helped with technological information to help him on a project that he was doing, and he was given enough information to help him finish it. We were all, as I say, given information, even the ones who were put into this deep sleep, but not only the individual, but we were also given information to help mankind in whatever way. We were told who we were as well, and why we were on the planet at this time.